Nowadays, most people in the world speak and master two languages on words. This has become a necessity in the context where we operate. However, bilingualism and multilingualism have had a profound impact on the understanding of the complex relationship between a language and a dialect, which is why this exists in almost all countries in the world, in all different social classes, and in all age groups. Bilingualism is an ability to speak two languages. It may be acquired early by children in regions where most adults speak two languages. For example, French and dialectal German in Alsace. Children may also become bilingual by learning languages in two different social settings. A second language can also be acquired in school. Bilingualism can also refer to the use of two languages in teaching, especially to foster learning and students trying to learn a new language. Detractors counter that it hinders children from mastering the language of the larger society and limits their opportunities for employment and higher education. In simple words, bilingualism is an ability to communicate easily in two languages. Anyone can become bilingual, but it is more easier to become bilingual when you are a child. Most often, you will find that a person with an accent becomes bilingual later in life. Bilingualism is a norm, not an exception. As surprising as it may seem, most people in the world are bilingual.
Multilingualism is the act of using or promoting the use of multiple languages, either by an individual speaker or by a community of speakers. A multilingual person is one who can communicate in more than two languages, be it actively through speaking, writing, or signing. A multilingual person is generally referred to as a polyglot. For example, there is a possibility for a child to become a naturally trilingual by having a mother and father with separate language, being brought up in a third language environment. Another example, here in our country, when a child has indigenous parents, he or she learns Quechua as a mother tongue. Then, when he or she go to the school, they learn the standard language of the country, that is Spanish. Besides, in the curriculum, they have the opportunity to learn another language, that is English. So, in this way, they become polyglot speakers.
Good afternoon, teacher. This is the final project, and the topic is what happened with the Quechua language in the actuality or in the new generation. Could be this language disappear or not? For that, I have a doctor. Her name is Jenny Valente, and it's a pleasure for me to stay here in this moment with Jenny. And Jenny, please present.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jenny Valente. I'm a doctor and I'm working in Eugenio Espejo Hospital. It's a pleasure for me to stay here in this interview.
Jenny, I'd like to share with you this question. The first is, in your opinion, what is the current functionality of Quechua?
At present, Quechua is a language that is necessary to know in the context in which we live, since we live in a multicultural and plurinational society.
Jenny, do you think that knowing how to speak Quechua is an important aspect of your work, or it is relevant and why?
In my work, I consider that yes, it is important and necessary since in the health sector there are also indigenous people who get sick and it's necessary to communicate with them in our language.
Jenny, do you think it's important to master Quechua to get a job, or is not relevant that?
In my opinion, necessary since, as I said earlier in our, there are people of all ethnic groups. We live in multicultural and plurinational country.
And could you give me one example for that?
For example, in the health sector, an indigenous doctor generates more confidence in the indigenous patient.
Jenny, do you think the Quechua could one day disappear or not?
Yes, I think that.
Do you think this language disappear in one day?
Yes.
This is the last question. Jenny, do you consider that the new generation should learn the Quechua language to prevent this extinction or to prevent this disappear?
Yes, obviously it is necessary for the new generation to learn their mother tongue, since like English, Quechua open works doors in many places.
Okay, Jenny, to reinforce the previous question, in this case I have one more question. How could the new generation acquire this language?
The new generation would acquire the language through their parents. I believe that this is the best way.
Okay, this is all. And Jenny, thank you for this interview. It's a pleasure for me to stay here in this moment in this interview. Thank you, teacher, and goodbye.
Thank you.
In conclusion, bilingualism is the ability to use two languages. Definitions of bilingualism range from minimal proficiency in two languages to an advanced level of proficiency that allows the speaker to function and appears as native speaker of two languages. Bilingualism encompasses a variety of competences and contexts. A young child entering a school may be called bilingual, but it may be that they use their first language or home language for domestic and family purposes, and that English is their preferred language for communication outside the home. On the other hand, multilingualism is the ability of an individual speaker or a community of speakers to communicate effectively in three or more languages. As an example, in Ecuador, a person can speak Quechua, Spanish, and English. Now, as you could see in the interview, we can say that despite the fact that a person speaks more than two languages, there will always be a dominant language, either in the place where you were born or in the country you are traveling to. Focusing on our case, in our country, the Quechua language was totally displaced from our present, which indicates that if we don't do something to try to enhance this language, in a few years later, it could disappear. Unfortunately, this is the reality of most languages around the world. Therefore, bilingualism and multilingualism are a great alternative for these languages to continue to be used by speakers.